Level 1. The Recruit. Earth is dying slowly and you are 22. The air in your city costs money to breathe clean. Your family owes 11 years of debt to a water company. You see the recruitment ad on a cracked tablet screen. Ares Colony Corp needs bodies for the oxygen farms. Sign a life debt contract, they will fly you to Mars. You do not tell your mother until the night before. She cries and does not try to stop you. There's nothing left for you here anyway. You board a transport with 300 other strangers. You are all running from the same dying planet. The ship takes 8 months to reach the colony. You spend it in a bunk the size of a coffin. You arrive at Meridian Station with nothing but a contract number. A woman in a gray uniform meets your shuttle. She has dust-colored hair and eyes like she has seen everything. She hands you a respirator and a work badge. Her name is Ren, and she runs the oxygen farm's night shift. You ask her about the strange plant growing under the lamps. She smiles and explains the algae strain like it is poetry. You barely listen because you are staring at her. You are 22 years old and you make 400 credits a cycle. That is barely enough to buy your air ration and nothing else. Ren was born on this colony. Her father founded half of it. You don't know that yet. You just know she laughs like the gravity doesn't apply to her. Level 2. The Technician. A year passes in the low red dust and thin recycled air. You have learned to fix the farm's failing pump systems. You have learned to read the colony's moods in its hallway lighting. Dim red means rationing. Bright white means a supply ship has landed. Ren eats lunch with you most days without explaining why. You ask her to the observation deck to watch Earth rise. She says yes without a hint of hesitation. You save 2 months of credits for real coffee, not the ration syrup. She drinks it slowly and tells you it tastes like home used to. You start seeing each other twice a week, then every night. You fall harder for her than you have ever fallen for anything. She makes the recycled air feel worth breathing. Then one shift, a supervisor calls her Miss Calloway by mistake. Your stomach drops straight through the decking. You search the colony archive that night in the dark. Her father built Meridian Station with his own 2 hands and 40 billion credits. He still owns 11% of every breath taken on this rock. You read the file 3 times. You set the tablet down and stare at the ceiling vents. You feel something shift under the artificial gravity. You wonder if you are out of your depth. You are. You almost don't message her back the next morning. A life debt worker doesn't court an owner's daughter. That only happens in the corporate recruitment videos. But she finds you at the farm and laughs at your worst joke. You forget the number on the file for a few hours. You decide to keep going and see where it leads. You have no idea what you just signed up for. Level 3. The Shift Supervisor. 2 years pass faster than the colony's short red days. You are 25 and you have earned your first promotion. You run a team of 11 on the oxygen farm's day cycle. Ren keeps her father separate from her life with you. You understand slowly why she guards that door so carefully. You meet her friends at a station bar built into an old cargo hold. They are polite and curious and testing you quietly. You pass, but only barely, and you both know it. You save for 6 cycles to buy a printed ring from the fabricator. It costs 3,000 credits and terrifies you completely. You know her father could buy the whole fabricator and not notice. You propose in the greenhouse dome because it is free and it is yours. She cries and says yes before the words finish leaving your mouth. You feel like the richest man in the solar system for exactly 1 week. Then you are summoned to the Founder's Tower for the first time. A private elevator car is sent down to fetch you. The operator wears a suit finer than the one you got married in. The elevator takes 90 seconds to reach the top level. The view from up there shows the entire colony like a toy. Her father shakes your hand and studies your face for a long moment. He is polite and warm and reading you completely. He asks where you were born. He asks what your father did for work. Your father repaired water reclaimers for 30 years back on Earth. You say it plainly and you do not apologize for it. Something flickers behind the old man's eyes. Maybe it is respect. Maybe it is nothing at all. Then the lawyers arrive with an equity separation contract in hand. It says you walk away with nothing if the marriage ends. You sign it without hesitation in front of everyone present. You are not here for the 11%. You need them to believe that completely. You need to believe it yourself too. Level 4, the newlywed. The wedding takes place in the tower's largest observation dome. There are 400 guests and you recognize maybe 30 of them. 2 Earthside senators attend by hologram feed from the surface. A former UN administrator sends a recorded message of congratulations. The flowers alone were shipped up on a cargo run that cost more than your annual wage. Your mother watches from Earth through a delayed video link. You have never been prouder of anyone in your entire life. Ren stands beside colony executives and holds her chin high. You love her fiercely for that small, defiant posture. You marry the woman you love in front of 1,000 strangers watching. You say your vows and you mean every single word of them. Then the ceremony ends and real colony life begins again. You move into a residence in the tower's lower executive ring. It is bigger than any home you have ever set foot inside. You feel like a visitor inside your own new marriage. The household staff call you sir and you flinch every single time. You don't know how to live with people cleaning up after you. You make your own bed and Ren asks you gently to stop.
You're
confusing the staff, she explains through quiet laughter. You are family on the corporate registry now. In practice, you are on trial at every single dinner. Her father asks your opinion on oxygen futures you barely understand yet. You learn to say, I would need to review the reclamation numbers first. You learn that admitting ignorance is safer than faking expertise. Her brother Callum corners you at a tower reception with a drink in hand. He tells you that colony brides marry outsiders all the time. He tells you the family has seen men exactly like you before. You smile and thank him sincerely for the warning given. You file the moment away carefully in your memory for later. You are 27 years old and learning an entirely new language. It has no actual words, only pressure suits and seating charts. Level 5, the son-in-law. A year passes, and you are still an outsider in the tower. You are 28, and the novelty of you has worn off entirely. Ren is pregnant with your first child, born under artificial sky. That fact changes the temperature of every room slightly. A colony heir is coming, and heirs matter more than marriages. The old man's voice softens by a fraction when he speaks to you now. You quit the oxygen farm because it started to feel absurd beneath you. You were patching algae pumps while your wife ran a continental relief fund. The math of your life stopped making any sense at all. Now you have no real job, and that is its own kind of poison. You start attending tower functions just to remain visible and present. You learn the name of every executive who actually matters here. You learn who is rising through the ranks and who is quietly being pushed out. You become a careful, patient student of the family's true architecture. You notice the old man trusts almost nobody in that entire glass tower. Your daughter is born in the colony's private medical wing at dawn. You hold her, and something deep inside you locks firmly into place. You will protect this child from everything, including this family if needed. The old man visits the medical wing himself the very next morning. He looks at his new granddaughter for a very long time in silence. Then he looks at you in a way he has never looked at you before. He puts one gloved hand on your shoulder without a word spoken. He says, "Come see me next cycle. Just the two of us." You do not sleep at all that night, holding your daughter close. One of the tower's many locked doors is finally beginning to crack open. Level 6, the apprentice. The meeting in his private office lasts 3 full hours. The old man does not offer you a fortune outright. He offers you something better instead, a genuine chance to prove yourself. A failing hydroponics division needs someone to save it from collapse. Nobody else in the family wants the mess of fixing it. He hands it to you like a test because it absolutely is one. You are 31 and you have never managed anything this large. You throw yourself into the work like a drowning man reaching for rope. You find the leaks in the supply contracts within the first month. A division manager has been skimming ration credits for years unnoticed. You fix what can be fixed and you remove who must be removed. Firing people through a screen turns out to be harder than expected. 18 cycles later, the hydroponics division finally turns a profit. It is a small profit, but it is entirely yours, and everyone in the tower knows it. You walk into a family dinner and the old man nods at you. It is a real nod this time, not a polite formality offered. Callum stops smiling at you entirely from that night forward. He starts working against you in small, deniable ways instead. A supply approval delayed here, a rumor about your judgment planted there. You learn that this is how the family fights, never in the open. You learn to fight the exact same careful, patient, invisible way. Your wife warns you about her brother late one night in bed. She has watched him do this to people her whole life on this station. You realize the equity contract was never actually the real test. Level 7. The Fixer. There are problems that never make it into the tower's official records. You become the man who handles those quiet, dangerous problems now. You are 36 and you carry the old man's private comm frequency. A cousin is caught smuggling contraband oxygen credits off station. You start making calls to regulators you now know by their first names. You learn which station inspectors take meetings and which ones take favors. The story dies before it ever reaches the Earthside news feeds. A former supply contractor threatens to sue and go public with old records. You travel to his habitat Ring Alone to meet him face to face. You do not threaten him at all, you simply listen to what he actually wants. You learn that most problems here are never truly about the credits. They are about pride and fear and the desperate need to be heard. Your marriage carries you through nights that would otherwise break you. The family begins relying on you for everything they cannot admit aloud. You sleep far less now than you ever used to on the farm. You carry secrets that are not yours to share with anyone, even her. Callum makes one final, desperate attempt to push you out completely. He goes to his father and calls you an outsider who married for status. The old man listens to the entire speech in complete silence. Then he tells his own son to leave the private office immediately. He chooses you, not openly, because nothing in this tower is ever open. Every executive on this station understands exactly what just happened. You are now closer to the throne than the actual blood heir standing beside you. Level 8. The Right Hand. The old man is in his late 70s now and slowing down visibly. You are 42, and you run the operations he can no longer manage alone. You are not the heir by blood, and you never will officially be. Callum still holds that legal claim on the corporate registry papers, but you hold the relationships, the trust, and the daily decisions. That is the real inheritance, and every soul on this colony knows it. You travel between 3 colonies now on the family's behalf entirely. You sit across negotiating tables from planetary administrators and mining consortiums. You think about your father back on Earth often when you are alone. He passed 2 winters ago, never fully understanding your new world. He was proud of you anyway. In the quiet way he showed everything. None of the executives came to a repairman's funeral back on Earth. That fact told you everything you needed to know about real loyalty. You keep your 2 children grounded on purpose despite the tower around them. Your son works maintenance shifts 1 cycle a year, no exceptions allowed. Callum drinks too much now, and his side ventures keep quietly failing. The old man props him up to save the family's public face. You manage every cleanup without ever once embarrassing him publicly. You could end him easily if you wanted to end him. You choose mercy instead because your wife still loves her brother deeply. The old man notices that mercy and tells you one evening it unsettles him. He says kindness was always a risk he could never personally afford. He wonders aloud whether you can afford it either. You do not have a good answer for him yet, not truly. Level 9, the Steward. The old man's health collapses during a long station winter. You are 48, and you are at his bedside more than at home. He calls you into the room alone 1 quiet night cycle. He tells you a truth he has never once said aloud before. His son cannot run this colony, and he has known it for 20 years. He asks you to protect the family when he is finally gone. Not the credits, not the tower, but the family itself entirely. You sit there holding the hand of the man who once interrogated you. You realize with a quiet shock that you love him like a father. The transition begins in secret months before he actually passes away. You restructure the corporate trusts so no single person can burn it down. Callum senses what is happening and rages against it loudly at dinner. You sit him down without anger and tell him the simple truth. You are not taking his birthright, you are guarding it for his own children. For the first time in 20 years, he has nothing left to say. You become the person the entire colony quietly turns toward now. You never wanted a throne floating above the red dust. You only ever wanted the woman explaining algae strains like poetry. Somehow the two became the very same thing entirely. Level 10, the governor. The old man dies on a gray cycle during the station's long winter. The memorial fills the tower's largest dome to capacity. You give the eulogy just as you gave your own father's years before. You stand at the head of the colony now, the one everyone looks toward. You are 58 years old and worth a fortune you can barely comprehend. The boy who once split a coffin-sized bunk now signs off on continental supply contracts. You should feel triumphant. Mostly, you just feel the full weight of it pressing down. You think about your father repairing reclaimers back on a dying Earth. You think about that first cup of real coffee she drank so slowly. The credits were never the actual point of any of it. That was the secret all along, and it is why they trusted you. Your son works the operations floor now, humble and sharp about it. Your daughter runs the relief fund, fierce and brilliant in equal measure. Callum sits at the table now, sober at last, finally at peace. The colony holds together because you held it together with your own 2 hands. Your wife still knows the real you beneath the title. That is the one thing no fortune in this system can ever buy. You walk the greenhouse dome late at night, the way the old man once did. Somewhere down on the farm level, a young recruit meets a woman under the grow lamps. He doesn't know her last name yet. He has no idea what it means. He will search the archive one night, and his stomach will drop the same way yours did. He will think he is out of his depth, and he will be right. The cycle continues.